Israel's once again in its fourth election in just under 2 years, and once again we are looking at the very strong possibility of political deadlock. Opinion polls show a very close race. It's impossible to predict the outcome at this point, and even after the first exit polls come in this evening at about 10 o'clock local time, we probably will not know the winner. The reason for this is that there are several small parties that are fighting for survival in this race. Israel is not divided between two parties like in the US. There are many parties, probably 8 or 10, that are fighting to get into the Knesset, and 3 or 4 of them may not get that support. So depending on who gets in, that will affect the final math of the coalition building process. Unfortunately, because the race is so close, we will not know from the exit polls whether these parties cross that threshold, and we will likely have to wait for official results to come in. That's a process that's expected to take several days. Because there are several parties that are struggling to cross the threshold into the Knesset, this has a huge impact on the final breakdown of seats in favor of him and against him. Most of the parties who are on the bubble, who are struggling to get in, are in the block of opponents against him. That means if any one of these parties fails to cross that threshold, that would give a bump to Netanyahu's Likud party and his right-wing allies. Israel is a deeply divided country, divided between two camps, those who love Prime Minister Netanyahu and those who want to see him go. Netanyahu has been campaigning mostly on his successful management of Israel's vaccination campaign against the coronavirus. Netanyahu moved aggressively last December to secure enough doses, mostly from Pfizer, to vaccinate the entire country. And in just under 3 months, roughly 80% of the adult population has been vaccinated. That has allowed the government to reopen the economy in the last few weeks. So suddenly you see restaurants, museums, the airport, everything is reopening just in time for Election Day. His opponents, on the other hand, say that he's mismanaged the coronavirus pandemic. The vaccination campaign has gone well, but the rest of the year has not gone so well. Over 6,000 people dead and heavy damage to the economy, double-digit unemployment. His opponents also note that Prime Minister Netanyahu is the first Israeli leader ever to be on trial for corruption charges while in office.